Well, not really. I mean, no, we've had a busy year. Uh, you know, unfortunately they all look the same. You know, as you go through, and especially as you see some structures that are not built as soundly as others, like many of our mobile homes, and you know they just cannot withstand the wind that some of the stick-built homes can. And as we flew over just then, that was very obvious. That's why I think it's so important that we work on our individual safe rooms and our community safe rooms across the state. That's part of what we have been recommending. Part of the mitigation dollars that we have available from the last tornadoes that happened on April 27th. We're using most of that money on individual and community safe rooms across the state. But I believe that we need them spaced out across the state, and especially where they're accessible to people, so that if people know exactly where they are, they can get to them, because it really makes a difference.
How bad area is it happening this early in the season?
Well, you know, it really bothers me because we've had such a mild winter, like we did last year. We had a mild winter, and so we really don't know what's going to happen, you know, over the next couple of months. The other night reminded me very much like the night before the April 27th. As we begin to see some of the individual storms come across, and of course this storm that hit here, this tornado was a long track tornado. It just touched down in different places across that track. We flew the entire track starting across the lake over there, across the river, and but it's probably the same one that started over in Verbena, and you can see the track across the state. So it does worry you, but you know, one of the things that the Lord does not give us the ability to foresee the future, and that's kind of good. We just have to be prepared. And it's so nice to see all these wonderful volunteers out here today, and I'm so thankful to see how the people in Alabama care about each other, and they come out and they help each other, and that just it makes me proud to be the governor of a state where we have people like that.
Some of these families in these towns have been hit not just once, maybe back in April 2011, twice this year. For a lot of these communities, one is almost enough is they get to a point where it's too much, but yet they still don't let that falter with how they come together and they're positive on moving forward. How do we move forward with such a major outbreak on fire?
Well, we just have to do like we're doing here today. I mean, people helping neighbors, and being prepared for the next one, because it is going to come. It is amazing up in North Alabama around Harvest. There was a family up there that's lost their home twice. This is in a year, and so it seems as if these tornadoes follow the same track. And I know it's not exactly the same track, but it really is. It's really interesting to see how they do follow certain tracks across the state. We just have to be prepared, and I think the best way to be prepared is the warning systems that we have. And if you noticed, our tornado recovery action council that we set up after the April 27th tornadoes, 4 of the things we've already begun to institute. One of the things that people can sign up for warnings on their cell phone or their iPhone or just on a hard line. And this is through this Barron company up in North Alabama, who's given it free to the state of Alabama. We had 12,000 people sign up the first day, and I think everybody should sign up. And if the vortex of the tornado is coming towards you, it'll warn you. And so that, plus the safe rooms, and you know, and I think having a little bit stronger building codes for new construction, I think is something that we need to look at. Of course, you know, if it's a F3 or F4 or F5 tornado, there are not many structures that can withstand that. You know, An F5 tornado, 210 mile an hour winds, there are very few structures that will withstand that.
Governor, I guess with this tornado as bad as it was, it seems like people maybe heeded the warnings and took cover and took shelter because there was only one.
You know, you're right. Of course, one is too many, and 10 or 11 injuries are too many. But sometimes there are certain things that are unavoidable, and the best thing we can do is continue to improve our warning systems and get people out of harm's way and get them into safe places.
What about the prison, the damage to the prison? Is that going to be able to be repaired? Is that going to be a Harvard budget? Or?
No, it's being repaired at the present time, so that's being taken care of.
Any updates yet on the appeal of the federal aid for Jefferson County in that area?
Well, we just have not met the threshold there. Unfortunately, there is a threshold that you have to meet. We have not met that threshold, and probably the way it looks now, we probably will not meet the threshold, and that's for public assistance. Now, we were able to get individual assistance. We got that for Jefferson County and also for Chilton County and for Perry County. But for the public assistance, we're not going to meet that threshold.
So no appeal?
No, it's just too far off. There's no need to appeal. If we know that we're not going to get it, we don't want to use up all of our capital if we cannot get it. And so I had a call yesterday morning from Secretary Napolitano. She called me and asked me how Alabama was doing, and I told her how Alabama was doing. And of course, they offered anything that they could. And I'll have to say, FEMA did a fantastic job during the April 27th tornadoes. And, not everything is perfect, but I can tell you I have very little criticism at all of them. And they've been very helpful to the people of the state of Alabama.
You heard from Senator Shelby?
Senator Heflin, I have not heard from.
He has been big news.
But Senator Shelby, I have not heard from either. The governor's in charge of these disasters. The senators just try to help us if they can. But actually, Representative Adderholt is the representative that's on the committee that oversees FEMA. But FEMA called me immediately yesterday morning. I mean, the secretary herself, she called me yesterday morning. I even got calls from Massachusetts. And so states tend to reach out to each other, and if there's any need. And we need to be praying for the people up in Kentucky and Indiana. And they were hit much harder than we were down here.
Are we offering any assistance in those areas?
We do offer assistance. We will offer assistance, and I will be in contact with them probably tomorrow. They're like we are, you have first responders. What I try to do as governor is I don't come the first day because we let the first responders come in with our search and rescue first, because I don't want to be a distraction, because I know they're going to do their job, and they do. And so I'm just very appreciative of all of our first responders for how they respond.
Thank you. Art, did you want to? Are you familiar with Art Faulkner from the Alabama EMA? If you need the question answered.